Prisoner number 10711. That is how Sasikala, K Sasikala, is going to be known for the next 3 years as she serves out the rest of her sentence. This after the verdict from the Supreme Court in the disproportionate assets case yesterday. It was a day of high drama, with first Sasikala going through the entire pantheon of the AIADMK leadership, their stalwarts first visiting Jayalalitha's memorial and after that the house of MGR as well. But now she is in jail. All the formalities have been completed. In fact, let's get the very latest from Nolan, who was right there in the thick of the action. What are the facilities that she had asked for? Because you spoke to the lawyer as well, Nolan, and on account of her age and her stature, the fact that she's a lady, she'd asked for a number of concessions to be made for her. What were they, and what did she finally get?
Well, it's interesting what she asked. She said that she's 61. Everyone knows that. She's a woman and she is old. But let me just tell you exactly what the lawyer told us, what she asked the judge. First, she wanted an A-class cell. The difference over here of a barrack is where you have 10 convicts over there and a cell where you have 3 people. So she wanted an A-class cell, point 1. Point 2, she wanted medical assistance, fine. Point 3, she wanted time for meditation. And point 4, she wanted relaxation in her food. Now, these are the things that she asked the judge. Now, the judge, what we are told by the lawyer, patiently heard her and Ilavarasi, and finally, when everything was over, did not promise her anything, stating that the jail authorities will look into all that. Finally, what we are told is that she has been lodged in cell number 2. It's not a barrack, so she'll be in a cell with 2 other people, accompanied by 2 other people. She'll be given 3 saris. She will have to do hard work, make candles, incense sticks, and she'll be paid 50 rupees. So imagine from where she was, from General Secretary's position, now right here in Parapana Agrahara Central Jail, she'll be doing the work of a normal Agarbati person, labourer.
What these otherwise powerful, rich, affluent people who've been used to the luxuries. I mean, one look at Poise Garden and you've been there, Nolan. It is nothing short of the most luxurious. How will she be spending the next 3 years? What will she be doing?
You know, it's extremely strange to think of an individual, like you mentioned, from Poise Garden, sitting over there, having a lot of servants to do everything, or housekeepers to do everything. Here, she will have to work. She'll be making candles, she'll be making incense sticks. She'll have a number of candles and incense sticks that she has to make on a daily basis. There are particular working hours. She'll be given breakfast at 6:30 in the morning. Thereafter, there's lunchtime at around 11. Then you have tea at 4. Then dinner at 6:30. So these are the timings that they all have to follow. She has to wash her own plate. She has to wash her own cup. And thereafter, she'll be paid just 50 rupees. Imagine, just 50 rupees a day. And with that amount of money, she'll be able to do other things. Now, she has asked for relaxation. Now, relaxation in what? Meditation time? We're not too sure if they'll give her that. She's also asked for relaxation in food. Now, when we asked the lawyer, what relaxation in food? We are told that she wants basically not the type of food that is normally given to the other convicts over there, but something little bit better. Now, we will get to know in some time whether she's been given all this. But Padmaja, I want to make this point clear. Now, these are the things that we have been told by the lawyer. But once inside, we must understand that this is not an ordinary...
Interesting that for someone who in fact at a time possessed several hundred saris, so much so that when the disproportionate assets case was being investigated, she and Jayalalitha had been called the Imelda Marcos of India. But there's big news coming in right now. The story broken by India Today in the evening. Governor Vidyasagar Rao is now likely to ask both the people, both the contenders for the CM's post, to individually come in with their list of supporters. And Rahul Kamal is now live with us for more on that story. How is it going to happen and how soon, Rahul?
This is a story India Today broke this afternoon. We followed it up in the evening with you before anybody else had any wind of it. What India Today reported was that Governor Vidyasagar Rao is going to ask the candidates to come with a list of supporters. Only once he sees that a particular candidate is able to muster the support of 118 MLAs, which is what is required to form the next government, then that particular candidate, which in this scenario seems more likely to be Palanisamy, would be called in to become the next chief minister. He'd be sworn in immediately, and then he'll have to prove his majority on the floor of the House. Now, what's been happening behind the scenes is this, that the people involved in this process have realized that the Sasikala faction of the AIDMK still controls the majority of the MLAs, that there hasn't been a mass defection, which some had thought would happen, that on the face of it, a majority of the MLAs continue to back Palanisamy. In such a situation, the governor is virtually left with no option. The other story we broke, now being confirmed once again, is that bogey which was floated by the Attorney General's office, saying that there could be a simultaneous floor test of sorts, a composite floor test it's called, that's now virtually out of the window, because one of these two candidates, whoever's able to show the support of 118 MLAs, will be called in and he will be sworn in as chief minister. They've run afoul once in Arunachal. It got repeated in Uttarakhand. This time, the advice that's being given to Governor Rao is to tread carefully and to follow the procedure.
Absolutely. They don't want to be seen as trying to destabilize any government. In fact, twice in the very recent past, Uttarakhand, Arunachal, it's been a very awkward situation, which is why this time treading very, very carefully. I want to get in consulting editor T.S. Sudhir as well, because he is at the spot where E. Palanisamy, even as we speak, has gone with his list to the governor. Anything you're hearing from your sources, Sudhir, about how many names, how many signatures, if at all, did he manage to produce?
Well, just about 10 minutes back is when Palanisamy went with his supporters inside Raj Bhavan. They were initially supposed to come at around 7:30. They landed up only at around 8 o'clock. Now, what we are told is that the list contains the names and signatures of about 124 people. Now, that will be the Palanisamy list. Now, everything will not then depend on how many Paneerselvam actually shows as his list of supporters, because so far we know that the number of supporters, number of MLAs supporting Paneerselvam does not exceed 12. So obviously that's going to be a huge gap between what Palanisamy is saying and what Paneerselvam is saying. So the ball in the governor's court, and it looks like on the basis of pure arithmetic, Palanisamy definitely has the upper hand. So we could see the possibility of, if not tonight, most likely sometime tomorrow, Governor Vidyasagar Rao could ask Palanisamy to invite him to stake claim, invite him to form the government and be sworn in as the next Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. Padmaja.
All right, so these stay with me, because even as we speak, we can see the activity now heating up. O. Paneerselvam also in a while is going to leave from his residence, and if the governor does not conclude his meeting with Palanisamy quickly, chances are that these two contenders might actually cross paths at Raj Bhavan. That should be quite interesting. But let's also tell you about the lady who will now have to watch all this action from the sidelines. Someone, many people are saying, might just end up being the remote control chief minister of Tamil Nadu. We're talking about K Sasikala. What awaits her for the next 3 years, even as she is behind bars in Bengaluru? Nolan Pinto and Revati Rajivan scoop these details.
Sasikala's worst fears have come true. After spending Tuesday night at Veda Nilayam, her home for nearly 3 decades, she is set to spend close to 4 years of her life in a prison in Bengaluru. The AIADMK chief tried to delay the inevitable by moving a petition in the Supreme Court. But the judges prodded her out of her slumber. She will have to move the prison immediately, she was told. India Today has got exclusive details of what awaits her at her new home, the Bengaluru Central Jail. Sasikala will get a cot and a television set, and not just that, but also a separate cell to herself. She will get a helper to assist her and will be served usual jail food. But Sasikala has a long list of demands. Sasi has demanded home food, citing her health issues like diabetes, round-the-clock mineral water and 24 hours of hot water supply. The Bengaluru jail is spread over 40 acres and is the largest in Karnataka. It currently has more than 4,000 inmates, though its actual capacity is just 2,200. This won't be the first prison stay for Sasikala. She has spent close to 2 months with Jayalalitha earlier in the same disproportionate assets case before she was acquitted by the High Court. As was then, this time too, the Karnataka government is organizing a heavy security cover for Sasikala. Bureau Report, India Today.
Nilayam in Poise Garden in Chennai is literally in the lap of luxury, one of the poshest neighborhoods of the city. And now, from there, within a matter of 7 hours, Sasikala has made a journey to prison. From Poise to prison, and all it took was 7 hours. But not before she wanted to make a statement, which she did, dramatically going to the memorial of Jayalalitha and making an oath in her name. So what was this last oath, this Aakhri Kasam by Sasikala? We tell you in this report.
It is being called the Sasikala Shapatham in Tamil Nadu. An oath-taking where Sasikala strikes her mentor's tombstone not once, not twice, but thrice, with her mentor and soul sister Amma Jayalalitha as witness. A vow to destroy her enemies for the treachery and the betrayal she was subjected to, swearing to guard the party against all odds. It was a day of high drama in Chennai as AIADMK General Secretary Sasikala decided to surrender in court today. Her supporters flocked to Poise Garden early in the morning itself. Chants and cheers accompanied her as she made her way out of Poise Garden. The journey from Vedanilayam, Tamil Nadu's informal power centre, to Bengaluru started with a pilgrimage to AIADMK heroes. Chinnamma's convoy first headed to Jaya's memorial at Marina Beach. After the floral tribute and symbolic oath at Jaya's grave, she made her way to AIADMK founder M.G. Ramachandran's residence. She spent few minutes meditating at MGR's memorial before she left Chennai and continued her journey to jail. The two emotionally charged days for the Sasikala camp stands in stark contrast to O. Paneerselvam, who has maintained a low profile. OPS is hoping that with Sasikala out of the way, her proxy, Palanisamy, won't be able to hold the MLAs together and he will soon be crowned the Chief Minister. With Pramod Madhav from Poise Garden, Bureau Report, India Today.
Two major acts by Sasikala today before she was hauled off to prison. One, of course, was symbolic, what you just saw, and the second was very, very political. Her act of re-inducting her family member, her nephew, TTV Dinakaran, back into the party and also giving him an official post. In essence, making sure that E. Palanisamy, even if he does win the numbers game and become Chief Minister, can never breathe easy. He always knows that he has a pair of eyes looking into his back, eyes that report directly to Sasikala, even in jail.
Moments at the Jaya Memorial in Chennai. Sasikala swearing an oath by the grave of Amma. And then Chinnamma was gone to finish her 4-year prison term in the Bengaluru Central Jail. But not before she had staked claim for a government in Tamil Nadu and tightened her grip over the AIADMK. In a shock announcement, AIADMK announced this morning that the two family members of Sasikala, expelled 5 years ago by Jayalalitha, had been taken back into the party. Not only that, TTV Dinakara, Sasikala's nephew, had been crowned the Deputy General Secretary of the party, effectively making him the de facto party leader in the absence of Chinnamma.
It's ironical that two family members of Sasikala, thrown out of the party by none other than Amma herself, are back. Though nobody in AIADMK is talking about it right now, but lot of apprehensions are what the return of so-called Manargudi Mafia could mean for the party.
An apology letter by Sasikala to Jaya in 2012 requesting that she be forgiven. Also talks of how she will sever ties with her family who misused its proximity with Jaya to amass disproportionate wealth. The letter had also promised that Sasikala would not enter politics. While Sasikala has been found guilty of corruption, her nephew and now AIADMK Deputy Chief TTV Dinakaran has been convicted in several cases of money laundering, Benami transactions and FERA violations. He had been fined 28 crore rupees by the Enforcement Directorate, penalty confirmed just last month by the Madras High Court. Now, as Chinnamma vacates her Poise Garden residence for nearly 4 years, she has ensured her writ remains large both in the state government and in the party, even if it meant trampling on the very legacy of the Amma she so worshipped. Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, and a news just coming in. Speaking to India Today's Nolan Pinto, Sasikala's lawyer has said that they are not exploring any other legal option, at least in the near future. Let's quickly listen in to what Sasikala's counsel had to tell us first.
All the three accused surrendered before the court. Then now that is all. Everything went on.
So what's the next course of action, sir?
Next course of action, nothing. They will serve the sentence as per the directions.
Sir, will you appeal to Supreme Court for 2 weeks of...
No, nothing.
All right, Nolan Pinto is joining us live now. Nolan, why? Why do they want to just fall back for a bit? Why not file a review petition?
You know, that's in the morning when we spoke to her lawyers. Off the record, they stated that once she comes to the City Civil Court, then it changed, of course, to the Parapana Agrara Vacant Court. They would make a surrender over there and thereafter request the judge, the special court judge, for 2 weeks relief. Now, once nothing happened, she's now in jail, spending her time over there in prison along with Ilavarasi and her nephew. Now the lawyer comes and says that they will not be doing this. It looks like this is from what our sources say, especially after the Supreme Court lambasted them this morning, saying that, don't you understand the word, the meaning of immediate? Immediate means today, not tomorrow, not day after tomorrow, but today. So basically, this is what they do not want to antagonize. This is what we are told. So this could be a strategy that they are playing. Let her be there for some time. We will show that we are following the rule, we are following the order, and thereafter, in some time, maybe a week or so, approach the Supreme Court once more, saying that, see, we have done this. Now she's 61, she's a woman, she's not well, so she requires time out.
All right, but she will not be spending her night with too many people. Luckily for her, she will be spending it in a cell with 2 other inmates, as has been reported by Nolan. Thanks very much, Nolan, for joining us. Final question to you, Sudhir. Last few days have seen dramatic late-night developments. Is the governor also going to follow that trend today?
Well, it looks like, because Palaniswamy has been there for the last 20 minutes or so. After he leaves is when Paneerselvam will come. Paneerselvam, as you just now mentioned, hasn't left from his residence on Greenways Road, and he will make his way and he will present the number of supporters, number of MLAs who are supporting his candidature as Chief Minister. So the governor will have the entire night to actually weigh both lists and see who actually has a better chance of forming a stable government here in Tamil Nadu. For the last 10 days, we have seen administration, governance has gone for a toss. It's been completely political turmoil, which has been the main headlines, and no one is really talking about administration except for that one day when Paneerselvam went to office and cleared some 350 files in a matter of 7 hours. There hasn't really been any governance to speak for. So there is an urgent need for the governor to ensure that there is a government in place as soon as possible, headed by either of the two CM aspirants, and get the government going here in Tamil Nadu, because brand Tamil Nadu has taken a huge hit because of this entire upheaval, the tsunami of sorts which has taken place within the AIDMK over the last 10 days.
Absolutely, as if the natural calamities, the oil spill, the unfortunate passing away of Jayalalitha was not enough. This political crisis that the state has been plunged into, surely it deserves better. The resolution better come fast. Yes, Sudhir, appreciate you joining us, but of course we're going to be right here on the field tracking what happens. Even as we speak, Palanisamy is in the Raj Bhavan, O Selvam, waiting to take off, maybe delaying his departure from here just to ensure that their paths don't cross. Leaving you with these images. Thanks very much for having tuned in.